So, as you all heard from the president today, the Epstein files are shut. There is no more investigation. In fact, they don't even know who Jeffrey Epstein is. They're just saying that he was a figment of our imaginations all along. So, MAGA is rightfully angry, right? They've been lied to. Donald Trump promised as soon as he entered office, he would release the files and we would, have a little bit of closure into probably one of the worst human trafficking instances that we've seen in this country and, potentially stop a massive PDF file ring from affecting more and more women and young girls each day. And MAGA is rightfully angry. They've been lied to, right? But MAGA is also confused. MAGA is also wondering, well, gee, if Donald Trump couldn't release them, then who is responsible for this? Who is responsible for these files not being released? Who unalived Jeffrey Epstein? Who in the administration is holding this up? And I thought, well, we're all well-meaning people. We went to college. We could try to help them figure it out. So let's do an analysis. Let's really look at the evidence. Because MAGA says that it wasn't Donald Trump that is on these files, and Donald Trump has nothing to do with this. So they're saying that. Okay, that could be the case, but let's look at the evidence and let's see what the evidence has to say. All right, guys. So I've taken the liberty of compiling this information. So let's see if we can get to the bottom of it. All right. So the big question we're trying to ask is who did Epstein? Who did Epstein? All right. So first off, Epstein's self-harm. So we know that Jeffrey Epstein was either unalived or he unalived himself. And there's a lot of detail, a lot of speculation about what was going on here, right? I mean, we get conflicting evidence from both the FBI and from reporting on the ground. We know that the cameras weren't working, and then the FBI comes out and says that the cameras actually were working, and the DOJ, they released this footage, which completely contradicts the original reporting on the ground. I mean, the doors don't even match. So who was actually the president, though, when Jeffrey Epstein was unalived or unalived himself? It's actually him. Interesting. All right, how about Florida's judicial system? So we know that when Jeffrey Epstein was arrested in Florida, he actually got a sweetheart deal from one of the attorneys. His name was Alex Acosta. He was a state attorney. And we know that Alex Acosta basically both gave conflicting information about the case as well, said that, Jeffrey Epstein was tied to foreign intelligence agencies. I'm not going to say which one. I think you know which one. And, Pam Bondi was actually the attorney general of Florida, and she is his attorney general now. But okay, let's go back to Alex Acosta. So Alex Acosta helped Jeffrey Epstein secure this deal, and then at the same time said that his hands were tied. He couldn't get anything better because Jeffrey Epstein was potentially tied to foreign intelligence agencies. So, and then Alex Acosta actually was appointed by Donald Trump to be a labor secretary underneath him. So, interesting. Okay, so and we have now two people. Okay, so. All right, so now let's go to Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. So Kash Patel, before the election was actually in a lawsuit, and he was found by the judge to be lacking of any moral character and said that he was completely unreliable as a witness. And then we have Pam Bondi, and Pam Bondi is the person that stated that she had the Epstein files in her desk back in February, but hasn't done anything with them. And also, she never investigated Jeffrey Epstein for any of his crimes while she was the Attorney General of Florida, despite the fact that she was alerted to it multiple times. And who appointed Kash Patel and Pam Bondi? Oh, interesting. Okay, all right, let's talk about executive authority. Now, there's only one person in the entire world who can point to a stack of documents and declare them to be declassified. Oh, that person's actually also Donald Trump. Huh. All signs lead to Trump. Well, now that's interesting. All the signs point to Donald Trump. Oh, well, but Joe Biden